Bellary, Karnataka. He's from Karnataka Theosophical Federation, and he joined Theosophical Society in 1976 and is the founder member and president of Kottur Theosophical Lodge. And he has worked in various colleges, institutions and universities as professor of economics, and he has worked as director for MBA courses for almost 10 years, and he has got a teaching experience for about 45 years. He has worked as coordinator in Indira Gandhi National Open University again for 10 years, and he is the director of many study camps on theosophical subjects. And right now he is working as a zonal organizer in Karnataka Theosophical Federation, and he is a national lecturer, and he has published and translated also, and he has authored few books, especially 3 main books in Kannada language, and it got published from Theosophical Federation. And this subject is knowledge or wisdom. What is needed for reaching perfection?
Thank you,
Professor R.V.
Yes. Thank you, madam. Dear brothers and sisters of this August conference, after listening to a highly technical session presented by Professor C.S. Shinde, and everyone expected some more explanation for that, but I don't know why he has cut down his time by 10 minutes. Now I want to draw your attention for a period of 25 minutes which is given to me on this subject, that is knowledge or wisdom, what is needed for reaching perfection. The topic is more significant and relevant to the time because the ultimate goal and destiny of the human beings is to attain perfection. That is the ultimate goal of us. Since the ages, man is struggling to find a way to attain this perfection, but we are caught in the vicious circle of physical strata consisting of physical, astral and mental bodies, which is termed as Pravritti Marga, as explained by our senior brother in the morning, or Dehatma Bhava. One has to discover a way out from this vicious circle of the lower consciousness and move towards higher consciousness that is more important to the human beings. The 3 main components of today's topic are knowledge, wisdom and human perfection. Let us throw some slightly discuss on these 3 components. Let us have a glimpse over these 3 words. Knowledge is translation of an experience and refers to symbolization. It refers to an experience and refers to a symbolization of that experience. It is recording of a thing or event that has already happened, and it is always of the past. Knowledge is always of the past experience. Knowledge about something involves naming it, about something, clarifying or classifying it by what? By the human mind, which is the nature, basic nature of mind. All this what we call it as knowledge, which is the assimilation of facts, information and analysis over a period of time. This knowledge, which is the assimilation of data, information and etc., is over a period of time comes to us from different sources. such as you will get knowledge by books, teachers, experiences, and observations also. This collected data of the things and events, when it is arranged chronologically, it is called information. And when this information is systematically analyzed, it is called as knowledge. This faculty of the mind is no doubt useful. Knowledge is also useful, but eventually it becomes a barrier to the capacity to experience things in the present moment. That is the limitation of this knowledge. But when knowledge is absorbed by the inner level of consciousness, what our brother Krishna in the morning said, inner journey, which is the non-logical but more intuitive, and the senses of seems to be more mystic also, is called wisdom or prajna. This wisdom transcends the discursive and analytical mind. Wisdom is the key to freedom, not the knowledge. It frees us from the sphere of mere experience or knowledge, which is the nature of the lower mind and which generally imprisons us. That is the very nature of knowledge. Coming to the term human perfectibility, which refers to one's potential resulting into self-realization, the inner potential of man which results into self-realization is called as human perfectibility. Being spiritual means to have a greater awareness of the spiritual power flowing through us. That is called realization or buddhic consciousness, or what we are calling it as prajna. Man's life is full of spiritual energy, that is the life force is flowing in us. Hence, every moment is an opportunity for us to direct our attention to use this force towards perfection. That directing our attention to use this force is in our hand. This spiritual energy is new from moment to moment. It is not static and provides an opportunity for inner transformation, which takes us to new dimensions. That is what is required. We should not be stagnant, we should move from moment to moment to higher dimensions. The second chapter of Bhagavad Gita describes the features of a person who attains the state of perfection or sthita prajna. Arjuna asks Lord Krishna, what are the qualities of a perfect being? How he acts in critical situation? These are the questions asked by Arjuna to Krishna. How he responds externally and internally, and how does he stop his senses? These are the four important questions asked by Arjuna to Krishna. Lord Krishna replied to all these questions to explain the perfectibility of human beings. He says, when a person gives up all the desires and gratifications, he attains perfection. When he gives all his desires and gratifications, he attains perfection, because desires are not the infinite, intrinsic quality of the human soul. He explains, desires are not the intrinsic qualities of or the property of the inner soul. When one attains divine consciousness, all the desires will go out or disappear. Then he becomes a perfect man. Secondly, he explains, a perfect man is one who attains the state of undisturbed mind in all situations. Whose mind is not disturbed in all the situations, he is called as a perfect man. who is free from all attachments, fear, and anger. Further, he explains, who is not affected personally by any perception of good or bad, or praising or cursing, such a person is fixed in always perfection. Who is not, that is either changed by appreciation or criticisms, he is a perfect man. Who controls his senses and sense objects? Senses and sense objects. As a tortoise withdraws all its organs into the cell, he is fixed always in perfect consciousness. Embodied soul may try to restrict the senses. We are trying to restrict the senses, but the tastes of the previous senses will always work on us. Those persons who are able to control the tastes of the previous senses by using or going for higher tastes is called as a perfect man, or is attaining perfectibility. A perfect man always controls all his senses by fixing his consciousness on ultimate truth or the divine truth. This is the actual way of spiritual life. That is what Krishna says or advises to Arjuna. After attaining this state, a person never gets disturbed and he enters into the kingdom of God. That is the basic objective of perfectibility. That is what one has to attain. Now, coming to the actual problems that we are facing. All individuals are like seeds with full of potential of a plant locked within it. We have got that potential power. The harmonious development of one's potential power results into self-realization. We have to do it. The ultimate journey of human beings will be towards the destiny of perfectibility. One cannot avoid it. It is impossible. In this context, I remember a poem called Fear, written by Khalil Gibran, a great thinker of Lebanon. Sorry, sir. A great thinker of Lebanon. Let us see what he says. He has written a poem, a great thinker of Lebanon. In that poem, he describes the journey of a river. In that poem, he describes the journey of a river very beautifully. I think that a few months back it has been published in Theosophist also. That poem has been published. In that poem, he describes the journey of a river, starts from its origin through mountains, valleys, forests, meadows, and plains. Jumping and dancing on the rocks, the river flows, forming many waterfalls, many brooks, and joining on its way. When it reaches the plain, where it has to go join the ocean in front. When it saws the big and endless ocean, river in front of it, the fear started with the river, that it is losing all its very existence, its name, its frame, everything is lost when it enters into the ocean. The river cannot flow back. It cannot say that I don't want to join or mingle with the ocean, I want to go back. It cannot say like that. There is no other alternative for the river. It has to mingle with the ocean. When the river mingles with the ocean, what happens? It becomes the ocean itself. When the river mingles the ocean, the river becomes ocean itself. Now it is bigger than the river. Similarly, to attain perfectibility, one has to sacrifice the individual consciousness of the lower mind to mingle with the universal consciousness. That is just like a river. We have to sacrifice our individual consciousness, the selfishness, to mingle with what? The divine consciousness. Then automatically one will attain perfectibility. This journey is inevitable. You have to remember, there is no option for us. This journey is inevitable. Why it is inevitable? Whether we prefer it or not, one day or the other, we have to complete this journey. Completion of this journey is in whose hand? It is in our hand. We have to decide. We have to decide. We know all these things. We have to decide. That is to search for the path and etc. in the morning. We have discussed. The human perfectibility does not mean we should become God. That is not the objective of the human perfectibility. But it means that we have awakened potential within ourselves. We have what? Awakened potential within ourselves. That may take us towards realization. That should be the objective of human perfectibility. Modern psychology also recognized this phenomena of human perfectibility. Abraham Maslow, a great psychologist, conducted extensive studies of the nature of such integrated individuals who are struggling to reach perfection and identified the qualities needed to become a perfect human being. As a psychologist, he identified. What are the qualities? I will summarize it. They have more efficient perception of reality and a more comfortable relation with it. More perfect perception of reality. What is truth? They have got more perfect perception of that. They accept themselves as they are. But naturally, the ordinary man is not ready to accept as ourselves. We know that what I am, but I am not ready to accept myself. That is the human nature. But the integrated approach man always accepts what he is. I am a thief, accept it. I am a liar, accept it. I have got this defective nature, accept it. When you accept it, what happens? Next moment, your journey towards higher consciousness begins. No necessity to discover this or that. Accept all your things as they are. Then your journey towards perfection or higher consciousness starts. They exhibit high degree of spontaneity, spontaneous decision. They are non-egoistic. Perfect men are non-egoistic. They prefer solitude and privacy. They depend on their own potentialities and latent resources, not depending on the third person. I will come to that later. They experience wonders and pleasures of the world at every moment. The world is giving to us so many wonders and so many pleasures, but we have no time to look into that. That is what one of the English poets says beautifully. What is this life? If full of care, we have no time to stand and stare. No time to stand beneath the boughs as long as sheep or cows. What the sheep and cows will do? After grazing, they will come under the shadow of a tree and they will take rest. But we, the human beings, we are simply running and running restlessly. He compares, our life is even worse than the animals. They depend on their own potentialities and latent resources. They experience wonders of the pleasure of the world. They have mystic experience. The perfect man is always having mystic experience. They are highly compassionate. They are always democratic in their attitude. They are highly ethical. They are more creative. These are some of the qualities of a man who is ready to move towards perfectibility. For that, one has to attain, even psychologically also, these are the qualities. Such qualities comes not from knowledge, but only from wisdom, which leads to internal journey. When we possess wisdom, it leads to our internal journey towards higher consciousness. Throughout the ages, man has been seeking something beyond his existence, beyond this material welfare, which is generally termed as truth, God, or higher consciousness, or divine consciousness, etc. Man is struggling towards that since ages. The question that the humanity ever faced is, what is the purpose of this life? What is the purpose of our existence here? What is the purpose of our meeting here? Man is always inquisitive. He wants to find out something. The question that the humanity ever faced is, what is the purpose of this life? Whether life is only the cluster of confusions, selfishness, that is enmity, or there is conflicts, brutalities, etc., war, so many things. This is life. But life has got something beyond it. In the midst of such chaotic conditions, there will be an act of code of conduct in the society. How to behave in the society? Who will fix all our these behaviors? How to act, how to behave, how to work, everything, all this code of conduct, either by religion or what we call it as a guru. We expect a person to tell us what is right and what is wrong, what is ethical and what is non-ethical, and he is called as a guru. This process makes our thinking more mechanical. Krishnaji puts it so beautifully in a word by saying that we are the second-hand people. We are the second-hand people because what I have to behave, somebody should tell me. Always we are dependent, not independent. That's what he says. Because we are living on what has been told by others and compelled to accept by the circumstances. We are the result of all kinds of influences in the society, and there is nothing new, nothing original, and nothing creative with human beings. But our aim is to attain perfectibility. But we are not original in our thought. That is what Krishnaji Rai beautifully explains. This situation created a pressure on our mind and body to find something beyond this life. We have to search something beyond this life. That is generally called as liberation or moksha or perfection. But a tortured mind, a broken mind cannot find this. A tortured mind and broken mind by the social pressure cannot find this. And we want to escape from all these turmoil. A mind which runs away from the nature, which runs away from the ultimate truth, will find only distortion. A conditioned mind cannot create anything. Why we are following this type of traditional approach? Depending on others. Two reasons are given. The primary cause is seeking of reality promised by others. We mechanically follow either a guru or a religion which assures the comfortable spiritual life. We don't want to find it out by ourselves. We are depending on others. He has to provide us a way out, which must be very easy, comfortable to us. That is the first reason. Second reason is we are not courageous enough to come out of the social stigma. We are not courageous enough to come out of the social stigma. The existence of the ultimate reality or the truth cannot be explained by books, priests, or philosophy. It is not possible. No one can answer this question but only by yourself. That is what Krishnaji says. How to find out this perfection? How to find out this reality? How to realize yourself? Nobody can explain except yourself. Knowing oneself is the beginning of wisdom. That is what Ramana Maharshi also said. What he said? Understand who am I? And further he explains that I am he and he is me. If you realize this, then you are moving towards higher consciousness. J. Krishnamurti also said the same thing, know yourself, or the self-knowledge. That is what he explained. Not depending on any of these influences or circumstances, you can find a way. In this connection, there is an incident I want to quote here. A dialogue was held at a sun in Switzerland. Pardon, time is out? Oh, okay. Then I will stop here. Thank you. We possessed a huge amount of knowledge since thousands of years through books, teachers, religions, and many spiritual organizations. Modern technology brought so many comforts to us. Today we are able to travel to Moon, Mars, Venus, etc. But this knowledge has failed to recognize our own neighbors. That is the knowledge, limited. We are now capable of traveling to so many things and so many technological facilities are available. Knowing our own neighbor, what Krishnaji rightly states that the modern man is more cruel than barbarians. We are able to use the knowledge possessed to satisfy the desires of the lower mind. We are able to satisfy all our lower mind desires. This knowledge failed to bring any insight, intuition into the human being. It has made the man more self-centered. As we are aware that in the natural process of human evolution, we are moving towards the state of buddhic consciousness in the sixth root race. Everyone knows that. Now the human race is at the crossroad of lower strata of consciousness and moving towards higher level of consciousness. A quantum jump is required now from knowledge to wisdom. More knowledge we have got. Now we require wisdom to enter into the higher strata of consciousness through self-knowledge or self-realization. That is the necessity of the, or the need of the hour. Thank you very much.